Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. So, we should see who's been looking in the drop folder and who has not. Doesn't that sound like a good idea? Yes? No? Is there any reason that we would say no? Why would that be? I mean, just a simple question. It's not here, one of them, we're walking around and say, ha, we got you. You're not doing what we're asked you to do. Okay? So, now, perhaps when you look at this, you'd say, well, gosh, this is a little overwhelming. Okay, just because there's so many lines on here, but one of the things that you would be able to eliminate is for asking this for an identification. If it's not pointing to anything, obviously then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so probably the majority of time we've spent on this is in this vicinity right here. So what is everything that you can tell me about this, I don't know, this 4-inch gap, or 4 inches right here? Okay, well, first of all, let's start with what artery is this? Okay, it is, I didn't quite hear everything what you said. This right here? No. No? Okay. Now, not only would we want to say the aorta, but it's within all these thoracic vertebrae or within the thoracic cavity. So then, why would we perhaps have an identification here and then one right here? So there must be a different type of identification for that, even though it's the aorta. Okay, that's where your abdominal aorta is. Okay, then this loop right here. And we can enlarge that because maybe, okay. So this structure right here. Okay, so it's only the aortic arch. We could even be specific enough to say this structure right here, it's going up just like nerve tracts within your nervous system. What would that be if signals are being sent towards the brain? The ascending aorta, okay? Because then when it's going away, we don't say the descending aorta, we would say the thoracic and abdominal, okay? So what might that specific vessel be right there? Okay, so I heard it from you. What about further in the back row, you three? No? Next to you? No? No? Say that again. Yeah, this is your brachiocephalic trunk right here. Not all of this, only until it splits. Okay? So then, you want to go outside or inside? Okay? So then, when we go to the outside, what vessel must this one be? Okay? But you need to be a little more specific. We might know what you mean. Yeah, it's your left subclavian. So we're basing that information off of what we've been talking about in class with this diagram that we have here. Okay? And I understand with a light background, it probably doesn't show up very well. So, oops. I have to shoot it this way. Maybe this will be a little better. Nope, it went the wrong way. Nope, that's no better because now we got the windows behind me. Come on here. It's not quite cooperating like I would like. Okay. So they just have to take our word for it, or else I can just shut the window here. Or door, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we spent time with this diagram here. We'll even turn it around so it's facing yourself now. These three structures on here are three different identifications. So now that it's facing you instead of a mirror image, which one of these is the brachiocephalic trunk? Is it this one, or this one? Okay, so we can eliminate this one, okay, because we know that can't be, okay. So then when you say the right one, is that this one or this one? Okay, so yes, this would be your brachiocephalic trunk, okay. So that's what makes this a little tricky, because this splits into what two arteries then? Right subclavian, right common carotid, okay. Then what's this middle one? Left common, and then we've identified this one already. Okay, now, if we're sitting here and thinking, oh my gosh, I know nothing of this. Well, that's why we want to give you those identifications ahead of time. So, not that you need to be looking at this every day, although that probably would not hurt anything, but we're just giving you advanced opportunities, or, yeah, an opportunity to look at this before we are evaluated on it. So as we said, brachiocephalic trunk, left subclavian, left common carotid, okay, there would be your right common carotid. Okay, so what is this vessel branching off of here? This one here? Which carotid? Yeah, this is your subclavian because your carotid would be right there. Okay. Then after this, okay, this junction right here is a very large artery. So the first one off of the subclavian is which artery? Yeah, here, oh shoot, don't start this. Okay, so I hear brachial, brachialis, and I heard axial. One of those is correct, yes. Okay, so what might be, since it's pointing here, is it down into where your biceps is yet? No, so it's not the brachial artery. No, so this is your axial artery. So then if they had a limb over here, then you have your left axial artery, but we don't have that. Okay, so then this identification must be which one then? What comes after our axial artery, which is up here? Brachial artery, and then, let's see here. This one must be what? The deep brachial artery. That's right. Okay. Yep, it's on. Yeah, I mean, at least I just glanced at it. I thought I turned it on. Yep, it is. Oh, no, that's just when it first turns on. But that has happened before, where it starts and then halfway through the sound just stops. Okay. Okay. If you had to guess, what would we be looking at in the neck area? Okay, be the jugular vein, but which one is which? The bigger one is internal or external? It says actually the right external. I didn't ask that part. So right external jugular. So then, okay, I don't believe that's the I believe this is the internal jugular. Okay, internal, external. Okay. And all right. Largest vein in the body. Okay? Then can we be a little more specific with that? Right. It's your superior vena cava because the inferior vena cava is actually underneath here. Okay? Then what happens is you might think that these are subclavian veins, but that is incorrect. Okay? What was the one, if this was an artery that branches off, what was that called? That was one of them that makes part of this trunk. Right, so you actually have a left brachiocephalic trunk and a right brachiocephalic trunk. Then just the opposite, or the reason I say opposite is because these are veins now. So you'd actually have a subclavian vein here, and an axial all the way down here. So have to look a little deeper just on account of these are branching unlike it does in the vein or arteries. Take a look at that. Yeah, that's just a little different. Okay. So then this is under the heart, so this is still what? The inferior vena cava, and when it splits, okay, this is coming from the left leg, so what vein would this be? Yes, the common iliac vein. Okay, left common iliac, the right common iliac. Then when you get down into here, right where it's splitting, if this is the common iliac, this must be just plain what? Just plain iliac vein. Okay? Then, of course, when you get down into the leg area, you actually have the femoral vein and then the deep femoral. I was thinking there was 3 pages to this. And, here we go. Then we actually have the whole body here. Okay? So, we just spent a little bit of time on that, and a lot of this is just going to have to be based off of your own input on this. Whether you correlate it, memorize it, just like with muscles, just like with bones, okay? It's just doing your best to correlate what the name of the artery is, where it's at, and then where it possibly branches. The reason we say that is because, again, we have this aortic arch that's branching into 3 different divisions. Your carotids, that brachiocephalic trunk, and then 2 subclavians. And then it goes to the axillary artery, then the brachial artery, then the deep brachial. Okay, we're going to spend a whole lot of time on that. I think we're up to, wanted to say about 15 minutes. It's about 14 now, so the rest of the time is yours. We'll catch up to you next time.